This college football coverage is sponsored by Bob Moore Kia of Edmond.
Thank you, Michael. Welcome, everyone. Going back and recapping last Saturday's game with Tulsa, I was once again just very pleased with our overall play. I thought we did a really good job offensively, run and pass. In fact, I commented, and don't know if it was accurate, but thought I looked up at one point in time in the second half. I think we were dead even in yards we gained rushing and yards we had gained passing. But so anyway, we just did a really good job. I thought the offensive line played really well, blocked well for the running game. Some guys up front, Nila Casatati played and was one of the guys that he, Darrell Williams, and Adam Shedd were recognized by Coach Biedenbow and the offensive guys as really having exceptional games. The running backs, again, were really tough and physical in how they ran, made great cuts. Alex Ross showed great speed, going 82 yards for one of the touchdowns, and Keith really was physical on one of his. So those guys took care of the football, blocked well, did what they needed to do. Sterling Shepard had a career day. Really excited about Sterling and what he's been doing. Just a really explosive player and got some big plays. Trevor to him. I thought Trevor played really well. We still want more in a couple of the deep balls. Sterling was behind him a few more times. We'd like to continue to, just improve our percentages there, but we still had quite a few big plays. Let's see, defensively, again, really great. In particular, the first half with the first group really didn't yield only about 90 yards, I think, the entire first half. And I thought the guys just really tackled well, covered well, got great pressure to the quarterback, and, did an excellent job. Again, I know we're a lot further along than a year ago with having fewer, if any, mental mistakes, which really helps in the way we're playing. Michael Honeycutt, again, perfect on the day. He really did an excellent job. Nick Hodgson, again, hit most of his balls as touchbacks. Really played well also. So anyway, it brings us up here to back home this week with Tennessee. A team that's playing really well here to start the season, 2-0. Coach Butch Jones and his staff do a great job. Now you could tell watching them on tape in their second year with the schemes that they're playing, you could tell there's, the guys are really playing well. They're comfortable in what they're doing. Worley, their quarterback, has been really good and solid. Again, a good football team. When you watch them on tape, you see a lot of speed running around. You see a lot of big guys. They got a great looking team. I know they've recruited really strong, in particular the last couple of years with Coach Jones. So we recognize it again as another big challenge, an exciting challenge. So when you look at, I know everybody's, been looking at this game, and it's an exciting game when you play these kind of games, and we play them, out of conference virtually every year. So this is another one of those exciting games, and we're, looking forward to the challenge of it Saturday.
What's your injury situation?
Zach Sanchez is expected to practice all week and be ready for the game. And Charles Walker is going to be a couple, 3 weeks, depending on how, his knee heals.
You mentioned you play these games. Do you approach all these the same way, or depends on what kind of team you have in terms of just your approach that week and just how you get ready?
It's always the same. We're pretty methodical on how we go through the week in preparing. On Monday, we work certain parts of the game plan. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, it stays pretty much the same. So it's no different.
Walker out is Matt back this week?
Yeah, Matt was feeling better yesterday. So we'll find out today. How much he's able to go.
Hey, Bob, how does the Gaskell scholarship work? I think just confusion, like when Dom was going through his deal and you said you could put him on scholarship there. Then is it just a numbers that work out?
Yeah, we're just able to do it right now, and since we're able to do it, we did it, and and excited for Caleb. He had a big day. You know, Caleb, I guess I didn't mention defensively. Dom Alexander had one of his best games he's ever played here, and Caleb came in, had tackle for loss, a sack, 8 tackles, and an interception. So, yeah, he was he will be recognized as one of our players of the game with Chuka and Dulaway and trying to think who Caleb, Chuka, and maybe Dom, I think, and Dominic Alexander. So, but anyway, so it was available, and we wanted to, present that to him.
Bob, I know no coach emphasizes starting slow, but Josh said you guys kind of tweaked some things in the offseason to try to get this team starting faster. What were some of the things you guys did?
We executed better, early, but yeah, I don't know. We emphasize coming off the sideline, and you'd have to ask Josh to be more specific on it because we still practice and do things pretty much the same as we have. And it's just, emphasizing it coming off the sideline. We really do it, throughout the game just because for some reason we've had trouble even off the sideline with the clock. We wait too long to get it called or get out there and get set. Outside of that, I'm not, too sure what else, has made that big a difference.
Is the fact that Trevor has such a better command of the offense, that must bode toward what?
Well, I think definitely when you look at the number of snaps he's taken from the start of, when he started a year ago to what, to now the experience he has through a whole year, and then the whole preparation leading up to the year, naturally that position he is definitely more comfortable and prepared to start the game now, and should only get better the more he plays.
Can you assess how Trevor's played so far, and are you starting to see some of the consistency you're looking for?
Definitely. He's played really well, and believe it'll only keep improving.
Bob, they have a linebacker that was an All-American, DJ Johnson, last year. Can you talk about him a little bit of what he means to their defense?
I couldn't hear.
They have a linebacker, DJ Johnson, who was an All-American last year. He's already made 20 tackles this year. Could you talk about trying to handle him and what he means to their defense?
Yeah, really an excellent player, all-SEC guy a year ago, and again, big, physical, runs well. He's an excellent player in there in the middle of their defense, and he's a tough player.
A lot of people are going to talk about Big 12 against SEC. You get into that?
No, that's been overblown. We don't need to go there again. Let's talk about the players and the teams.
I don't know how much you had to do with it, but I don't remember a single coach being kind of a rival of an entire conference. Do you enjoy that part? Are you trying to replace Nebraska as your rival with the SEC?
No, I don't care about it one way or the other. So.
Gino said that the team understands, what's going on or what's been said. Not that you say it to them in the locker room, but it seems like your team, it does do something for them in terms of makes it almost like a rivalry every time they do play in SEC. Do you like it from that perspective?
I like it if they're ready to play and they do their job preparing to play, and I believe they will. So, whatever works for them, that's okay. Again, it isn't something I concern myself with.
Butch Jones talked today about how he sort of has looked at the job you did rebuilding this program and the job he's doing at Tennessee. What sorts of challenges does a coach face that maybe people don't think about when you take over a prominent program that's been down?
I can't speak to Tennessee, I'm not there, but I can speak to it. It's still fresh on my mind how shockingly down our program was when I walked in, from the feel of the players, their confidence, their attitude, the vibe around the team, in the community and around the school, how negatively we were looked upon, or just weren't looked upon as winners. We're looked upon really the other way, as losers, and it shocked me. And to me, it was getting the attitude and the expectations set first, the expectations of what we are to be like, and building the players up to patting them on the rear end and putting your arm around them, telling them they could do this, and that they were capable. And because I think they were told a lot from everybody that they weren't capable for whatever reasons, and it was trying to get that mindset right was the biggest challenge I remember, and you know, and little by little it started to change, and the expectations for theirself, for the players, started to change.
Expectation with your players before the Alabama game was that they were very, very difficult. They were very, very good, and your guys responded extremely well. Tennessee's from the SEC, but they've really struggled and are 21-point underdogs. Your guys will hear all of this. Is there a concern from that standpoint?
No, because again, we've got great respect for the program, and we understand. Again, their coaches being in their second season now, they're a better football team than they were a year ago. They've recruited really well in the last couple of years. They're 2-0 and have looked really good to this point. So, you know, we understand all of that. So we got to be prepared. Our focus is always not on the other team. It's on how are we going to be our best. That's what we tried to do a week ago. That's what we'll try and do this week.
To your point about the state you found the program in, is that something that you still think about from time to time? Can that still be a motivating factor for you, just obviously not wanting things to go back to the way you found the OU football program?
All the way back there? That's not happening. But no, I don't need that for motivation. But I do keep the depth chart when we first got here, and it's different. But those guys all, you know, I love them all. That first team, they did a great job coming together. And one of my favorite wins was the homecoming win against A&M. We beat them pretty bad, and they had been beating us pretty bad for quite a few years ahead of that. So, you know, that team's special, that 99 team, but, you know, again, it's a lot of work getting that mindset back to what your expectations are.
The depth chart in your desk or in your office?
It's in my office.
What about Justin Worley, the quarterback? What stands out to you about him?
Really good football player. Big guy, throws a great ball. He's got, you know, some excellent receivers he's throwing it to with size, with speed, you know, so he executes really well.
What have you told Trevor about sliding?
About sliding?
Yeah, like I said, if it's a first down on, you know, you can get a first down.
Well, that's, again, Coach Heupel does a great job directing them. That's something they'll talk about when they see opportunities. If it's a yard short, you know, how to be aware of it and how to, you know, to try and pick it up with and avoid, you know, and avoid contact as much as you can.
You talking about Tyler Evans, or excuse me, linebacker Evans, Jordan Evans.
Jordan Evans.
And is the Shannon deal dead? Is it still dangling?
That has not been resolved, and Jordan did a really good job. He's played well, you know, and I, again, expect the more experience he gets, the better he's going to get.
Keith Ford said that receiving is something he's really had to work on as a football player. Have you noticed a difference between when he first got here and where he is today? Because he looks like a very natural receiver.
Yeah, he has done a great job. Keith got great hands. You know, I don't ever recall him not having poor hands. It's just he's got to where he can catch those difficult ones and make it look easy. You know, so he has worked hard on it, and all those guys have really good hands, which is makes a big difference in your confidence getting them the ball out there in space.
In the first two games, you were missing an inside player in the offensive line, yet it seems to hasn't slowed you down at all. That group has blocked really well. Could you talk about when we finally get everybody back at full strength, how good this unit could possibly be?
Yeah, they're a strong unit. We have a lot of depth in the offensive line right now. You know, for all those recruits out there, we are losing 5 guys. So, but these guys right now are really quality players and have played a lot. You know, when you look at all of them in their, you know, they're all, you know, got experience and size, and they're playing together really well.
Coach, how have you seen Deron Neal develop and improve? It seems like the chemistry between him and Trevor is growing as well.
Yeah, I've been talking a lot about Deron since the start of camp. He's really come on. It's his time now, and he's making plays. He's consistent. He's working hard in practice and showing up. So he made a few nice plays the other day as well. So we expect Deron to have a big year.
Uniforms coming out Saturday?
We haven't decided that yet. We're checking into it and some of it might have to do with even production, meaning the the shipments, and is it all prepared to go? So
Whenever you decide, is it something you'll say several days first, or is it something you think it'd be cool to surprise on the fans?
I don't know. What should I do? I hadn't thought about that. I'm thinking about the football game, not about the uniforms. So
Surprise.
all right, okay.
You said earlier in your opening statement something about making fewer, if any, mental mistakes, and I guess my question is, a lot of great teams, that's still something they have to overcome. So just that you're not making those mistakes that drive a coach crazy, that's got to say something about where you guys are.
I think for a couple of reasons. One is, as I've said a lot, being a full year into the system, two things. The players understand it better, and even as coaches, we've simplified it in what we're doing. And it's still, there's still enough there, but we're not doing too much to where the players can have a chance to follow it up. So we found a good balance, I guess Mike has, and the defensive coaches, on how much is enough, and they totally get it where we're not going to have a mistake, but we're still giving the offense enough to prepare for.
And you're experiencing that, aren't you? Also offensively, you're not getting false starts. You're not hurting yourself. It seems like this is a positive team-wide.
It has been that way. In these first two games, we haven't been. The factors we can control, regardless of who we're playing, we're controlling them in a good way, with not having mistakes and not having line of scrimmage procedures or penalties that don't involve the play.
You made some changes in the secondary. You got some new guys playing also. How's that work?
They're all playing really well. Those guys all were cited for having really good games. Ahmad Thomas, Stephen Parker, Tari Bird, Q Hayes, all those safeties played well, and we played a lot of them. Jordan Thomas came in and played well. Stan Von Taylor played well. So all those, we're getting a lot of guys in there that really were excited at the progress they're making.
Zach being banged up, are you going to have to spend more time this week kind of working Jordan and Stan Vaughn to kind of have
Not really.
who would be the backup there?
No, they work. We'll work them the same as we always do. They always get a lot of work. We go through a 2-hour practice. They're training to get ready to play as much as anyone, as much as Zach is. So.
Do you see any Adrian Peterson and Alex Ross, the way he runs and his skill set?
Oh, no, I don't want to go compare him to AD. That's not fair. But Alex is a big, strong, powerful, fast guy. So hopefully he'll continue to play like he has.
You mentioned recruiting, and I know you can't talk about recruits specifically, but I know this is a big recruiting weekend for you. How much do games like this, nationally televised against a big-time other conference opponent, help out in recruiting?
They help. They're exciting games. We sell the fact that we go to Tennessee next year, then we have a home-and-home with Ohio State with the recruits we're recruiting. So you're going to get those opportunities to be in big games like that, and they're always exciting. It provides for hopefully a great home environment here, this week. So they do help us in recruiting, and we do have quite a few guys coming this weekend. So, hopefully, again, the game atmosphere is exciting and what you want, and it's the atmosphere you want to play in.
You really like Keith Ford. What most excites you about him?
Keith, again, he's powerful. He's strong. He's got great quickness, speed, got hands. I mean, he's got everything you look for. Keith's a really solid player.
How much of an advantage is that each of those guys is just a little bit different? One maybe a little faster, one a little bigger, you have a mix of the two.
Well, I think more than anything, the advantage of being able to throw fresh people at a defense. To continue to run the football with fresh legs. Had Alex maybe carried the ball 20 times already the other night, he may not have busted that all the way. It's just you're able to have a fresh set of legs coming at the defense all the time, and they all have power and size to them to go with it.
Keith said he understood when he was recruited the days of the 30 carry a game running back are pretty much over with him.
Well, and that's okay. And if you're their parents, you'd probably say, yeah, how many carries does a guy have, you know, even as he enters the NFL? How overworked or underworked has he been? So that's all right, I would think. And again, with tempo plays and with you getting maybe 80, 85 snaps in a game, sometimes some people are getting 100. Is that guy truly able to get 50 of them? That's hard to do, and if you're playing at top speed. So it works.
Some people say about the running back committee, well, they all do something different. It seems like all these guys are more in the mold of every down backs, even though they're not every down backs. I mean, does that give you its own advantages? You can hand it to them and throw it to them.
It does, because they got great hands, and they're good out in space catching the ball, running routes. So you can leave them in. They're all physical to step up and protect the quarterback. And they have in a couple of instances already in these games. They've stepped up and been great at knocking people back and protecting the quarterback.
The other day you said Tennessee looks like an SEC team. What does an SEC team typically look like?
A good football team. They've got good speed. They've got size. They've got good quality players. Like you get in all good leagues, the top leagues.
Is there a difference in style of athlete? I mean, the SEC likes to tout that its players are a little bit cut above.
Well, I don't know. That hasn't been the case in our experience since whoever we've played. That hasn't been much of a difference.
I know you don't like comparisons, but have you ever had a guy with the size and athleticism of Geno that you've asked to do what you're asking him to do this year? I mean, that position just seems like.
I did coach Javon Curse at Florida, so I have had. Probably not, because we've been in more of the 4-3 front, and he's not a traditional inside backer, but in what we're doing, he's perfect for what we want, as an outside backer, and so he's, and like I said, he's an exceptional athlete, in the way he runs, his ball skills, his the size and strength he has. And I described it earlier in the Big 12 call-in show that I said if you had a pickup game, he and Tapper would be the first. If pickup basketball game, those would be the first two guys taken. If someone was picking a team, and just the way they can run, jump, and move.
It seems like though that's a little bit of a leap of faith on your part to kind of design, that important of a position around somebody that hadn't played it. They haven't had like that before. I mean, is it a leap of faith, or is it just?
No. We've seen what Geno can do, and we were in this defense all last year. So even through the year, we were, we were working with it. And in fact, Eric was out in that position a lot a year ago, and we felt obviously what Eric can do, Geno's bigger and stronger in every way, that he's going to handle that boundary and tight ends better. And now Eric's to the field, more in space. We rush Eric more, so it works. So it was well thought out, again, by our defensive coaches, and so it wasn't a leap of faith. We knew it would make us better in a lot of areas. We're bigger overall and stronger overall too.
I can remember defensive ends that have leapt up and picked off a pass out of midair, but I can't remember a whole lot that dropped back in coverage, kind of deep to quarterback into throwing his way that made that type of a catch.
Yeah, not a lot, but again, Geno's one of those, has that kind of ability to do it.
Bob, have you seen the Ray Rice video, the new one that came out today?
No.
NFL's getting hammered all over again for the lack of punishment against Ray. You guys nationally didn't receive that over the Mixon case for the way you handled that. Have you found that the way that the university handled that, are you pleased with the perception and the profile that it?
I don't know what that is, because I'm not. Again, I'm in my office working on football, so I can't say that I hear and read everything that everyone else does. In the end, we felt we did what we needed to do and what was right. There's nothing right about it, I guess, but we did what we felt was, was the punishment would, that it was what it is. It's just, we felt, that it was strong enough, and that that and regardless of the circumstances, it's, those decisions are always different, in all circumstances. And we felt we acted in the right way as a university.
Bill was able to get involved in the passing game a little bit, the tight ends, and he was talking about he's looking so forward to the future. You've got a good group of tight ends. Could you talk about their development? Are you happy to get Bill going?
Yeah, they're playing great. Blake had another really good game. Ran a great route, and though it was a short route, to get open and like he did, and showed his hands in a couple of instances. And those other guys are all doing well too, though. Taylor McNamara's playing well. Dimitri Flowers, Aaron Ripkowski, they all kind of rotate in there and are doing a good job on those edges for us.
Bell split out quite a bit Saturday. What does that do? And what does
Just
that do
spreads
for your
the defense out more. He's a guy. Not everybody is great out there, tight ends, and so, for instance, it's not a great spot for Aaron Ripkowski out there. It's a better spot for Blake, to be out there some, just in his route running and creating space in the defense and trying to stretch the defense.
Is that sort of what happened on the touchdown?
Yes.
Presumably the offense will continue to open up as you play better opponents and play conference opponents. Will that affect Blake in perhaps an outsized way? Will he get more opportunities?
Possibly. We really like him in there, and the quarterbacks love him because of the target that he is.
Bob, Blake has gone from the belldozer, the starting quarterback. Now he's the guy who's sort of helping to revive a position that hadn't really been as involved the last couple of years.
No, that's not true.
Well,
2 years ago it wasn't. Last year it was very involved.
He was the first.
Trey Millard and Aaron Ripkowski are in that position, and they were on the field more than they weren't.
The first true tight end to catch a touchdown pass in a couple of years. Is that just a reflection of how special he is as a player and how good he is for the program?
Probably. Blake is special. There's no question. As being a team player, his character, his toughness, and doing whatever's ever been asked of him to help us win here, he has done it in a positive way. And so I'm elated that it's working out as well as it is, and I know he is. He's excited about it and wants to keep growing in the position. The more he learns and gets comfortable doing the things he's doing. So, it does speak to his talent, his skill, and his overall attitude and how positive he is.
You have 2 or 3 guys who maybe have made a jump since the season started. Now that you've had a couple of games to look back, guys maybe a little bit further down the depth chart who've improved their standing.
Say that again.
A couple of guys, that maybe have improved their standing.
Oh.
Maybe a little further down the depth chart, showing you something.
Well, I thought the young corners were in there. Stan Von Taylor and Jordan did really well. Stephen Parker had a big role in this game in the nickel position, or one of the safety positions. Moved Q Hayes to the nickel spot. Played really well. The young D linemen are doing. Matt Romar continues to. Charles Walker, before his injury, was really playing well. Those guys are coming on. Offensively, KJ Young we're really excited about what he's doing. Ty Darlington in the starting role at center has been really good. Dimitri Flowers, young freshman's played really well.
I know you're aware of Pat Hayden coming down. Does seeing what USC did and the way they won, does that make you think that possibly you'll be getting word to Joe C to come to the sideline?
I need to call Joe down. No, I don't see that. I don't foresee that happening. And Joe, he texts me back, say, "Get lost, do your job." But and I'm not. Listen, I think the world of Pat Hayden. I know him, and the classiest guy there is, and a great leader. So and I like Steve a lot too. So I'm not at all. It's just an unusual situation.
But you've talked about your concern with any kind of selection process is the inherent biases. And when you see a guy who seems to be fairly dignified, sort of lose his head in the middle of a game, does that think, oh, what's going to happen in the room?
No, I don't see where that really pertains to the fact that he's on the selection committee. I mean, there won't be any referees in there, so he's got all the integrity in the world, and I don't see that. I don't know why that would be an issue, you know.
Any thought that this game is maybe your first chance to impress those guys, even though they're not voting right now, the election committee, because the game of the stature, Big 12 SEC?
Well, every game is you're on display, so you've got to play well, but that's always been the case. You know, prior to this method, there was only two teams going to get selected. So why is it any different? Now there's 4. You know, so we've been on display ever since the BCS started this, that you know and how you win and playing well. So I don't see where it's much different.
You know, Louisiana Tech got a big win over the weekend. Do you watch teams like that, opposition, just their strength of schedule?
You know, I didn't notice that, but
keep an eye on how those teams do.
Obviously not, since I didn't know they won.
I mean, just in
Who'd they beat?
They beat Lafayette.
Lafayette. What was the score?
They won by 18, I think.
Okay, good.
But do you keep in touch
Pumping up our deal.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm asking. Yeah.
When you talk about
No, I don't. Just try and win. That's all.
When you talk about a guy like Stephen Parker, what is it you like about him, and how hard is it for a guy who a year ago today was preparing for Jinxon Union and now he's playing?
I was thinking of that. We were out there warming up, and I was thinking he wasn't near me to say it to him. I was here a year ago watching him play high school ball. Saw him catch a nice ball. Saw him. I think he had an interception the game I was at too. So I was just thinking, last time I was here, I was watching him. So what's given him an opportunity? He's athletic. He's got size for a young guy. I mean, he's about 6'2", 205, 210. I mean, he's got strength. He's got speed. He's smart. You know, he gets the game. Because in that position, they have a lot to think about. No safety spots, and he's handled it really well. So, and he's got the athletic ability to go with, being a bright player.
Bob, what's Quincy Russell's status?
He is not on the team anymore.
What's he upset about? He tweeted out some stuff that was sort of cryptic.
No, just not able to do the things everyone else is doing, and eventually that doesn't work.
Anything else for Coach?
All right. Thank you.
Given those